You know, you've never done socks with sandals. What's that about?
Why would you wear socks with sandals? I mean, you've got to be kidding me.
Welcome to Perfusion Rockstars, episode 10. Today is Wednesday, October 21st, 2020. I'm Adam and this is Todd, and we are the Perfusion Rockstar team. And we are very happy to have Cliff Balls with us today from Cleveland Clinic. And please like, comment, and subscribe. We really do appreciate our viewers and your time. So with that, we're going to talk to Cliff here a little bit. We're going to review his professional experience, and we're going to ask him some professional questions, go into some personal questions, and then finish up with the standard lightning round, which Todd does a great job at. Thank you. So Cliff, thanks a lot for being here. We really appreciate your time. And if you wouldn't mind, if you could start with a little overview of your education and professional experience, that'd be great.
Well, I got my bachelor's degree from Washington Jefferson College, small college. From there, I did graduate work at the University of Arizona, but I didn't really like chemistry all that much. So I ended up going into construction, and after doing construction for 8 years, I said, you know, there's got to be a better way of making a living. A friend of mine was an anesthesiologist, and he's the one who introduced me to perfusion. So I flew up to Cleveland and, you know, got to observe, shadow, and see what it was like. And I said, wow, this is pretty interesting. And here I am 33 years later, still doing it in Cleveland.
That's great. All right. Well, thanks for the update.
Yeah. So you kind of gave a brief overview of my first question, but I'd still like to maybe dive in a little more deep about it. So could you tell us about the moment when you decided to become a perfusionist?
Shadowing. When I got to see, you know, open heart surgery and what a perfusionist did, I said, yep, this is for me.
All right. I like it. Short.
From there on, I had to take the prerequisites to get into the school. So I had to take a year off doing that, but that was pretty much it.
Okay, great.
Love at first sight.
So, and then as far as who's been influential in your professional, you can also talk about your personal life as well, but are there people specifically in your life that you haven't already touched on that you'd like to acknowledge?
Oh, well, back then I was single. And it wasn't until I came out of perfusion school that I finally did get married at the age of 35. So I'm sort of late to the scene as far as all that goes.
All right.
And raised a couple kids, and
okay,
that's been it.
So your wife's been a little influential in your life, potentially.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yep.
So yeah, you kind of talked about how you got into it, and you've talked about what it means to you personally, but you know, what does being a perfusionist mean to you, Cliff?
Oh, being a perfusionist to me is trying to go into that OR every day and figure out, all right, what's the best I can do for this patient? And using my skills, you know, you look at each case and figure out, all right, here, we got a good game plan here. We're going to do this, and this. And then, of course, as the case unwinds, it doesn't quite go to plan. So what I really enjoy is making adjustments on the fly and then having those good outcomes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's different every day. And I know you
every single day.
And see a lot of different procedures there at the Cleveland Clinic, I'm sure.
Yep.
So Cliff, is that considered your superpower, or what would your students and your staff say are Cliff's perfusion superpowers?
Superpowers. They call me MacGyver. That's sort of like my nickname because, you know, we have surgeons coming to us all the time with new techniques that they want to try, but they don't know what to tell the perfusionist to do. And so invariably they come to me and say, okay, this surgeon wants to do this, like antegrade brain perfusion. You want to get enough flow going up through those carotids to support, you know, the brain and everything. But the way he wanted to do it versus what reality was very different. But you figure these things out. So
Right.
I've got a lot of protocols that are been written by me at the Cleveland Clinic.
That's great. How big is your perfusion team?
35.
Wow.
Yeah,
Big
35.
staff.
Yeah.
Yep, 35. But just think, I rarely take call
Right.
because
Yep.
it's distributed.
Sure.
Mhm.
Yep. That's the plus of it.
So, they call you MacGyver, so I'm sure you have plenty of stories.
Oh yeah.
But if you have one that sticks out, could you tell us about a moment where things went south in the OR and what you did to kind of help fix the situation?
Yeah, I got a lot of stories like that, but there's really 3 cases that stood out in my career. The first one was, I was sort of new, and this high-powered surgeon saw it through the right ventricle, and he's screaming at anesthesia, "Hurry up, give heparin." And of course, I slammed 30,000 into the pump, recirced it, and turned everything on. And we get on bypass, and I take an ACT. The ACT is only 250, so I slam another 30,000 in, and it worked out. But in the process, once we got settled down, the nurse anesthetist bring this rookie resident anesthesia guy over, and she goes, "Cliff, what was your first ACT?" I said, "Well, it was only 250, but we're okay. I got one running right now." She turned to the rookie resident and said, "Well, this guy just saved your life," because back then he had picked up a syringe of protamine,
Oh,
and
shoot.
from that day forward, we changed the practice that protamine's no longer in a syringe; it has to be put in a bag so they can't slam it.
Wow.
And then the next one would be vacuum. And Dr. Cosgrove came to us and said, look, he was big in mini surgeries back then, mini invasive surgery, but he's got these big cannulas, and he goes, if we put a vacuum to this stuff, we can now make a small hole in small cannulas. But he had no idea how to do that. So me and a guy named Bob Foster figured out basically how to do it. I did the dog lab, made the measurements, said, okay, we need to vacuum this much. He was up in the unit scouring the chest drainage tubes, and what Medtronic made was grossly inaccurate vacuum settings up there. So I'll never forget the first day that we said, okay, we're ready to do this. And Dr. Cosgrove goes, okay, let's go. So we ran the first case together, and it worked like a charm. And we ran the second case, and it worked like a charm. We never looked back since. But whenever your reputation is on the line and that surgeon's just staring at you, of course you guys know what that's like. And then the third one is microplegia. Right now I work a lot with Dr. Roselli, and so my days consist of either Bentall's, David's, hemiarches, or frozen elephant trunks. That's all I do. And when he first came, it took him a while to figure out how to do circ arrest and hook up all the vessels, off the arch. And using Buchberg cardioplegia, we were getting horrible results. The glucose is through the roof, K's out of hand, and you're hemodiluting the patient. So he goes, have you ever heard of this micro? I said, no. And he goes, why don't you look into microplegia and see if we can adapt it? So I got into it, and I developed the whole formulation that we use there. And we just published our paper, I don't know, last week or so. So
Congratulations.
Yeah.
I've only published a couple papers. One's the vacuum and one's micro, and I think I did down there. I don't know. I co-author this stuff, but guys, I came out of construction. I'm not a medical type guy at all, like you guys probably are. But anyhow, the first time I ran the micro, it worked like a charm, and it worked so well that Roselli looked at me and goes, we're just going to use this all the time. And we've been doing it now for 10 years. And so now we finally published the results of that paper.
That's great.
Well, that's the 3 things in my career that really stood out.
Well, and that's why we were told to interview you, because you had developed and invented several products. That was the words that were used, that you had invented, microplegia and, vacuum and techniques for it. Is there anything else in your career that you've developed or invented that you'd like to share with the community?
No, that's enough. I've done a lot of different things, but those two things were the big things that just stood out, where, it's the first time you're doing something completely new and your reputation is on the line. And, if you screw up, this surgeon's going to have a long talk with that family. And that's a lot of pressure.
It is. It is. But that's what drives you and probably makes you appreciate your job.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm 67 years old, and I'm not looking to retire at all, because I feed off the energy of trying to figure this stuff out and going in there every day and being challenged. If I were in a regular setting, a cabbage farm or something like that, where you just did simple cases, I'd be back here behind the pump, wandering off looking for dandelions, because my attention span is that bad. But that's the reason why I do all these hemi-arches and, the circle rest cases, because, it's a 3-hour pump run, but, I'm busy. I'm thinking. Right. I'm constantly making sure everything goes right. So.
Well, your bar's been raised. You're kind of like an adrenaline junkie that.
Yeah. I'm an adrenaline junkie.
Yep. All right. Well, thanks for sharing all that. We have some kind of personal questions to get to know you a little better.
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
Yeah. So first things first, Cliff, do you have any personal hobbies?
Playing bass. I love to play my bass. That's what I love to do. Come home, get downstairs, put on YouTube, and my car. I've got you've heard of Volvo, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But do you know about the racing division of Volvo, the Polestars?
No.
Took me a year to get one, but I finally got one. They only import a couple hundred a year over here. But yeah, it puts on over 360 horsepower out of 2 liters. That's 180 horsepower per liter. Does 0 to 60 in a little over 4 seconds. Does 155. So I have fun with that.
Yeah, I could imagine.
That's basically my 2 hobbies right there.
Well, great. How long have you been playing the bass for?
A couple years.
Oh, okay.
I took it up after the kids, left the house. So we built the sunroom, and my wife hides in the sunroom, and I go downstairs and, try to have fun.
That's great.
I've noticed as we've gotten older, me and my brothers, my daddy's starting to do different things as well. He's got a unicycle now. So he's looking for a bunch of random hobbies to fill his time.
Still working on that one.
But that's great, though.
So you talked about the bass. This is Perfusion Rockstar. You are a rock star. What type of music genres do you like to play with?
I like rhythm and blues, because they have a strong bass, component to it. I like all kinds of music. Mostly it's going to be rock. Rock music is basically 12-bar blues set up. And if you know anything about music, that would make sense to you. But that's the reason why I like playing the bass. So I like that particular genre.
Are you able to convince the OR team to listen to blues?
Yeah, every once in a while. I'm in Roselli's room all the time, and I'm a founding member of Club 73. And the reason why they call us Club 73 is Roselli likes to listen to heavy metal rock while we're doing these cases. And we have all these surgeons that will come in, watch what we do to learn, how to do the frozen elephant trunks. And they're just amazed at the music that we play during the whole thing. But the other thing they're always amazed at is that we do this every single day. Mm-hmm. And, they just look at us and go, how do you do that? And, we just shrug our shoulders. It's what we do. This is what we do at the clinic. Yeah. And that's the other thing that's really interesting that's going on is, our team of 35 with 14 surgeons, they each have their own niche. Mm-hmm. So, I do what I do, but if I had to go do a robotics case with Gillenhoff, it would not be pretty because we've just turned into niches that each of us on that team were specialists. It's not like back in the old days where you did everybody, and so you were a jack of all trades. Mm-hmm. Now we were becoming more pigeonholed into
Right.
what we do.
Yeah. You mentioned Dr. Gillinoff. I worked with him in the 90s at Johns Hopkins Hospital
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
a while ago, but yeah, he's a good
Yeah,
guy.
he's still there. He's head of our department now.
He still looks young. When I
Yep,
see him, he looks the same as he did in the 90s.
yep, yep.
Yep. Good guy.
All right, Cliff. So, you have a pretty extensive history in the field, and someone says, you know what, this is the guy. I want to write a book about Cliff. What's going to be the title of that biography?
MacGyver.
Okay, so who's going to play you when they turn it into a movie because it's such a hit?
Oh, geez, I have no idea. I don't know. I don't watch television. I don't watch movies.
Yeah. Maybe you have to play yourself, it sounds like.
Yeah, who's the guy who played MacGyver? Pick that guy.
Okay.
I don't know.
That sounds good.
That's great. Yeah, the real life MacGyver.
Uh-oh, it's time.
Okay, so now it's time for the lightning round. Just kind of so the way I like to do this is we're just going to start the timer. Sam starts it, our editor. And I'm just going to run through these questions. You just fire off your answers, and then we'll run back through them and see why you said what. Does that sound good?
Yeah, sure, good.
All right, so we're going to start in 3, 2, 1, start the timer. If you could travel back in time, where and when would you go?
Geez. America, the late 1800s.
All right. Favorite carnival food?
Popcorn.
Texting or phone calls?
Oh, phone calls.
Paper or plastic?
Paper.
Have you ever worn socks with sandals?
No.
Fill in the blank. Taylor Swift is blank.
I just know she sings or something. I don't know.
Beach or mountains?
Oh, mountains.
Favorite holiday?
Thanksgiving.
All right. So that's what we had. So now you travel back in time. You said the 1800s in America.
Yeah, the late 1800s, yeah.
What's your thought behind that?
Well, it's because this country was developing a lot of new technology. And it was just amazing to see what they were coming up with in that time period. And the country also was becoming a lot more prosperous. It was switching from an agrarian state to manufacturing, and it was well on its way. So have you ever gone to New Orleans? On Bourbon Street, that apothecary shop, you go up that second floor and you see the medical instruments up there.
We have
You got
not.
to do it. I mean, the medical instruments where they were sawing limbs off or needles that were so huge is unbelievable. But it would be interesting for me to go back then because I'm an inventive type of person, and it would have been neat to be a part of that.
Yeah, great.
Great. And then favorite carnival food, you're going for the popcorn, huh?
Yep. Salt.
Salt.
Salt and butter.
Yeah, can't go wrong.
It is a good combination. And then texting or phone calls?
Oh, I hate texting. I'd rather you'll transfer way more information to someone by talking to them as opposed to texting.
Yeah, I'll definitely agree with you on that. You can get stuff done a lot quicker. Just an easy phone call. And then paper or plastic, you're going paper.
Yeah, I like paper. It's more natural.
Well, that's good. Yeah. And then you're natural. You're obviously not too much of a natural guy. You've never done socks with sandals. What's that about?
Why would you wear socks with sandals? I mean, you've got to be kidding me. If it's warm enough out that you're wearing sandals, why would you wear socks and make your feet all sweaty? I don't know.
Good answer.
Yeah, I wore them in high school. Some people started wearing socks with flip flops. It was kind of
Yeah.
like a sports thing, but I kind of regret the look. I don't think it looks very good.
Yeah.
And then Taylor Swift. You seem to.
I don't know what to tell you about Taylor Swift.
Yeah, she is a musician. She's
Yeah.
kind of plays a lot of pop / country.
Yeah, you probably don't listen to too much.
I don't listen to, yeah.
And then Beach the Mountains.
Oh, the mountains without a doubt, because they're way more diverse. I used to work in construction, and I worked on a lot of mansions in Virginia Beach and the Outer Banks and whatnot. And I guess spending all that time there, to me, the beach is boring because it's pretty much all the same.
Mhm.
But the mountains are much more diverse. There's a lot more things to do there, from my perspective.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good perspective.
that's a good way to think about
Good
it.
answer.
And now your favorite holiday is coming up soon.
Yeah, Thanksgiving. Food. I love turkey.
Yeah, that's always good.
Turkey and family.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's great.
That's great. So yeah, that's our lightning round. I appreciate you going through that and kind of explaining. Do you have anything you'd like to say?
Well, I was just going to say, Cliff, is there anything else that you'd like to share with the audience about yourself that you'd like people to know, whether it's your family or perfusion students or colleagues that may come across this recording?
Mostly my family, and it would be for future generations that they'll see who I am. Of course, I couldn't figure out how to make the video work.
Yeah, we couldn't
That's
get Cliff's
That's all right.
webcam working, but we are going to have a nice headshot of you, a glamour shot that you're going to send us.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I got to send you a photograph, huh?
And our editor, he'll touch it up for you.
Yeah.
You look the best you look.
Yep. Well, thanks a lot, Cliff. We appreciate your time. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too.
And we really appreciated getting to know you a little better. It's been enjoyable. We hope to see you around at a Perfusion conference sometime in the future, live, maybe.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
All right.
So,
All right, see ya.
yeah, keep Perfusion rocking, and we'll see you next